This second Christopher Snow adventure is dedicated to Richard Abrahamian and to Richard Heller, who bring honor to the law, and who so far have kept me out of jail. Friendship is precious, not only in the shade, but in the sunshine of life. And thanks to a benevolent arrangement of things, the greater part of life is sunshine. Thomas Jefferson. First. My name is Christopher Snow. The following account is an installment in my personal journal. If you are reading it, I am probably dead. If I am not dead, then because of the reportage herein, I am now, or soon will be, one of the most famous people on the planet. If no one ever reads this, it will be because the world as we know it has ceased to exist, and human civilization is gone forever. I am no more vain than the average person, and instead of universal recognition, I prefer the peace of anonymity. Nevertheless, if the choice is between Armageddon and fame, I'd prefer to be famous. 1. The Lost Boys. 1. Elsewhere, night falls, but in Moonlight Bay, it steals upon us with barely a whisper, like a gentle dark sapphire surf licking a beach. At dawn, when the night retreats across the Pacific toward distant Asia, it is reluctant to go, leaving deep black pools in alleyways, under parked cars, in culverts, and beneath the leafy canopies of ancient oaks. According to Tibetan folklore, a secret sanctuary in the sacred Himalayas is the home of all wind, from which every breeze and raging storm throughout the world is born. If the night, too, has a special home, our town is no doubt the place. On the 11th of April, as the night passed through Moonlight Bay on its way westward, it took with it a 5-year-old boy named Jimmy Wing. Near midnight, I was on my bicycle, cruising the residential streets in the lower hills not far from Ashton College, where my murdered parents had once been professors. Earlier, I had been to the beach, but although there was no wind, the surf was mushy. The sloppy waves didn't make it worthwhile to suit up and float aboard. Orson, a black Labrador mix, trotted at my side. Furface and I were not looking for adventure, merely getting some fresh air and satisfying our mutual need to be on the move. A restlessness of the soul plagues both of us more nights than not. Anyway, only a fool or a madman goes looking for adventure in picturesque Moonlight Bay, which is simultaneously one of the quietest and most dangerous communities on the planet. Here, if you stand in one place long enough, a lifetime's worth of adventure will find you. Lily Wing lives on a street shaded and scented by stone pines. In the absence of lampposts, the trunks and twisted branches were as black as char, except where the moonlight pierced the feathery boughs and silvered the rough bark. I became aware of her when the beam of a flashlight swept back and forth between the pine trunks. A quick pendulum of light arced across the pavement ahead of me, and tree shadows jumped. She called her son's name, trying to shout, but defeated by breathlessness and by a quiver of panic that transformed Jimmy into a 6-syllable word. Because no traffic was in sight ahead of or behind us, Orson and I were traveling the center of the pavement, kings of the road. We swung to the curb. As Lily hurried between two pines and into the street, I said, "What's wrong, Badger?" For 12 years, since we were 16,